Hi. Come here. Come on. You want to be in the video? Come on, come up here. You can rest up there. Come on. Good job. Did you push play?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey guys. Welcome back. So, welcome back to, yes, Haven Hill. Is that what we're gonna say? Just say Haven Hill. Haven Hill Homestead's a lot. Let's just say Haven Hill. Okay, so here is what we are doing today. Willow is with me doing this one because this is kind of a tag team thing. Oh, hi. And Irish wants to be in it too. Yeah, you're gonna steal the show. So, we are doing a seed organization one today for a couple different reasons why. If that makes sense. So we're doing it because one, our seeds were 100% out of control. I had them all stored in a box, just this random box that I had, and I just kept throwing them in. So I bought a bunch at the end of last year. I just keep buying as I know as I decide what we're going to be planting, what we're going to be trying, what we're going to be starting, all the things. And we're trying a lot new this year, which is exciting, and you know, all the things. And what we are doing a lot just by seed this year. So on a couple different occasions, we have done a garden with Jace's mom, and 2 times.
They're blocked.
Right. Well, no, and also at their old house. So they have property, just farm property. So we did one out there, and then we did many years. We've done it with her at her old house. But we did what we called a couple years ago the Golden Garden. The reason we called it the Golden Garden is because we bought plant starts for everything. That was really expensive. Like, it ended up being a lot, and it added extra stress for me because I was bound and determined to make sure I harvested everything, but then I also ended up getting pregnant. And so you know how that gardening with pregnancy is great, but then towards the end it's super challenging, and if you have any issues at all of the things. So anyway, I said we cannot do that again. We cannot do all plant starts because it's a fortune. And I have started things by seed before, whether you're directly sowing it into the ground or inside, but on a very small measure. So this is a whole new thing for us to this extent that we're doing this year. So it's exciting, a little bit nerve-wracking, but we're gonna do what we decide to do, and that's just plant the seeds, because we know that plants want to grow. And we did an experiment recently with garlic. It's been so fun to watch because the garlic wants to grow. Yeah, we are gonna have to transplant it soon. Right, it's getting a little bit root bound, but it's been so fun to watch. So we know that things want to grow if it's given the right, you know, circumstances and just all the things. So we're starting a lot by seed this year, but we had to get organized. And we did some research as to different ways to organize. There's all sorts of things. I've had other people come on Instagram and say, hey, you should try this, hey, you should try this. They're all such fun ideas. This is the one that made the most sense to me since we are expanding so much this year. And so we have a flower and herb box right now and a vegetable box. I anticipate that we will be adding more boxes, but right now this is working for us. And we went through different ways to do it. We wanted to have beautiful washi tape.
Where did you get the seeds?
Oh yes, where we got the seeds. So this year we're primarily planting Botanical Interest, Renee's Garden, a little bit that I had left over from Eden Brothers. Eden Brothers did great last year.
We have like random ones.
Then we have random, yeah, Livingston did great last year. I'm not like committed to one seed company. I mean, just get the seeds. Like, no matter where you're at in your gardening, just get the seeds and try it and see what happens. But that's just what I found this year. I did not make very meticulous notes at all while I was gardening last year. I did afterward. I made notes of what did well. We obviously know, I've said it before, we must amend soil. I haven't even tested our soil yet. That's on my list to do. We have our own compost going, which has been fantastic. I cannot wait to share details about our own compost, which is so simple. You can read all of these different things about compost that go into all the scientific stuff. I mean, I read that. It didn't make full sense to me. Anyway, this isn't about compost, but I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to have our own compost that will save us an insane amount of money. And it will be good for our soil. So I just made some loose notes. We had issues with tomato hornworms last year. That's the first time I've ever had.
Those things are nasty.
They're nasty, and we had a lot of them. So we'll be watching for those this year, all the things. So, but what I wanted to show you is here's what we've come up with. We're kind of combining different ideas that we saw at different places. We did the clear boxes because I wanted to see the beautiful seed packages. I'm a color person. I love color. And I love the art that is on so many of our seed packages by different people. So, I'm gonna show you up close in just a second, but I thought I would show you far away first, if you can even see it. This is poppies, for example.
So
we're gonna put, yep, poppy, go ahead. We're gonna put,
we would put poppies right here, and then on the side we'll have another piece of tape that will put the month that we have to plant it.
Right, so that's how we're gonna organize it this year. The kind, whatever's in here, and then when it needs to be started, either inside or directly sown. And we're gonna, I'm gonna try and put a little note in there on the ones that we're going to do multiple plantings of as well. There's a few things that I definitely want to keep getting, especially my herbs like cilantro. I want to plant that every 2 to 3 weeks this summer. That's my goal, because we go through tons of cilantro. So that's how we are gonna decide to, or how we decided to try it this year. Yeah, okay. So, like I said, I think I said, did I say it in this one? We actually recorded one of the videos and then the card became full about being not organized.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're not super duper organized by nature, and I just say that the flip side is that I just have a really creative mind that runs and runs and runs and runs. But I'm not super organized by nature, but this needed to get organized just so we could try to figure out what we're doing and how to successfully do this well on this, to this extent. Gardening we love. I don't think gardening itself requires an insane amount of organization, but to the extent that we're doing it this year, did require that. And to be honest, I want to be able to give. I want to be able to give extra produce that we have to neighbors and to friends, and I want to be able to harvest as much seed that we can this year to be able to give and to share. That's part of the enjoyment for me. My kids are hoping to, Willow's helping to sell bouquets again, and my kids are hoping to sell things maybe at a farmer's market. I don't know if all that's gonna come to fruition, but we have some goals that we're working towards, so I felt like organizing was gonna be pretty imperative to us, so we could make sure that with all of these goals, and by expanding so much this year, we had the best chance of doing what we want to do, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go through a couple of these. Why don't you grab our tape? Why don't you start taping the other side of these?
Are we doing the same tape?
Yes, we're gonna do the same. Yep, yeah, do the same tape. So we can, I think otherwise it's gonna look too like, whoa, what just happened? So let me walk you through, what do we have? Let's walk through, like, let's walk through like the tomatoes, for example. So we have, this year so far, I'm planning on getting a couple more kinds. So this year so far, we're going to be doing obviously our classic Brandywine red and yellow. We're doing a sun gold cherry tomato. I'm so excited for these. I've never done these before. These were recommended. I've never done those before. This one, and these are actually, so some of these are just where I could find them. Aunt Molly's ground cherry got really good reviews. We're trying that one. Dr. Witchy's yellow tomato, heard amazing things about this one. And the Paul Robeson tomato. So these are all the seeds that I have so far for tomato. That's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different kinds. I need to find still Black Prince. We did Black Prince last year.
They're really cool.
Our tomato plants were a bit wonky, but they tasted so good.
Wait, do you have pineapple?
I don't have the pineapple cherry tomatoes yet either. They tasted,
the hornworms went crazy on
yeah, the hornworms did go crazy over those. The Black Prince, I think, were one of my favorites. I really, really enjoyed them. So that's why I'm super eager to get our soil kind of figured out to make them even produce more, or help them produce more than what they did. So here's how I do that. Let me just take one of these packs. So we will put on here just tomatoes. And then I will compare all of them. No, I'm not gonna do it right this second. We will compare all of the instructions that are on the seed packs. Let me see here. So for these,
Are those all the same? Like plants?
yes, that's what we need to make sure, that they are all going to be the same. Okay, so these two, yep, okay. So like for these two, the Sun Gold cherry tomato and the brandy wine slicer tomatoes, these will both be started inside. Our season is too short here. You could not.
Too.
Well, we're gonna use part of our sunroom downstairs. I'll show you that later. We're gonna try to make that into a greenhouse. It's not going to be heated. So we're gonna get creative with some things. The sun, because our house faces south, gets nice and warm. We have windows for air movement. The only tricky part is going to be watching the cool temperatures. So we will start these 4 to 6 weeks. I bet we'll probably be at the 5 to 6 week mark for these. Hey, we are doing a video. You want to come in?
So sorry, I
That's
didn't
okay.
see that.
You're in it right now. And we have another helper that wanted to come help us too. So, I don't remember all that I was saying. Okay, so we will start these about 5 to 6 weeks inside. We were talking about the downstairs sunroom. So we're gonna try to convert our downstairs sunroom to be our starting place. And I think it will work really well. I watched it all last year and kind of with this in mind thinking, can we use it possibly for a greenhouse? And I think it's gonna be really great. The only thing I think we will have to watch is actually that it doesn't get too warm. The blessing of having these south-facing windows is it gets nice and warm. So we will start these inside. Our season is too short here. We are Garden Zone 5B. Our season is too short. You could not start tomatoes by seed outside. It just would not go well. And usually I actually in the past have almost always, in fact, I can't think of any other time, I've always just bought the tomato plants.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this. Obviously,
I don't think we've ever done seeds.
no, not for tomatoes, we haven't. Yeah, you can. Do you want to help her with the tape? Go for it. Head over there. I'm super excited. I mean, if something happens, I can always just go buy plants. I mean, I'm not getting too worked up about it. I know that this is gonna be a learning curve, but I am hopeful. I'm super hopeful. And I think it'll go great. So, and like what we know, if you don't plant, you are 100% guaranteed. If you do not plant the seeds, you're 100% guaranteed you aren't gonna get anything. But if you at least try to plant, great. So we have the tomatoes. Sorry, I'm already messing it up for you. Those will be started about 5 to 6 weeks beforehand. The squash, we do both kinds. We're doing Black Beauty, summer squash, and the early prolific straight neck. I might look for one other kind. These will be started directly outside. Excuse me. And how my mother-in-law taught me how to do her squash is she actually makes a mound. It does not talk about this on here, on these particular seed packets, but we make a mound and then we just poke them in there. And then if we have to thin out, we can. That has always worked really great for us. Eggplant, I only have one eggplant. My kids actually love eggplant, especially when we make like eggplant parmesan. So I'm only doing a little bit of eggplant this year. This is from Renee's garden. We are going to start this one inside and we will start this about 8 weeks. Yes, 8 weeks before our last frost date. Our last frost date is May 3rd. I posted that over on Instagram the other day, or yesterday. And so it'll be about 2 months, maybe 6 weeks, because actually, even though that's our last frost date, most people around here say just wait till after Mother's Day, just to be truly safe. So that's probably what I will do. And so then what the girls are gonna do is they'll put eggplant on one side, and the week that we are going to start it inside on the other side of the tape. So then we can just go and grab things by date. Let's see what else. So those are vegetables. I can go through all the kinds that we're doing later. Is there any other kind? Oh, we're doing a lot of carrots this year.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh my goodness. So we did carrots last year at the very end of the season. I had probably missed my window by a solid week, maybe 2 weeks, but we did get little ones. My boys always stole them. Like before I could get to them, I only had a couple. It was just a test run. I just kind of wanted to see what they would do. They did so well in the soil. the season was super short for them. So we had just small carrots, but they tasted amazing. I just told them they could just go grab them as snacks. Like I wasn't trying to put any away. I wasn't trying to freeze any. I wasn't trying to do anything like that. I just wanted them to go be able to eat them. And
I didn't get one.
you didn't get one? I think I only had a couple. It was a race some days to see who could go find them. And we also kind of got impatient, so I'm pretty sure some were picked quite a bit too soon. So we have all different types. I am so excited to try the Harlequin mix from Renee's garden. All the different colors. And one fun thing that we love to do with our carrots. So I have, Jace does not like cooked carrots. Whoops, that's okay. Jace does not like cooked carrots. We all love fresh carrots.
No.
And I have a couple of kids that do not like cooked carrots, but one, yeah, I do too. But one thing some friends taught us this years ago. They will make mashed potatoes and they will put their carrots in there, and the flavoring is very, very subtle. We all love that. And then not to mention, your mashed potatoes are super colorful. So I'm excited to try that with some of these. So we're gonna do.
I'm excited though, the purple ones.
Yes, the purple ones. We're doing circus carrots. We're doing romance because this is an F1 carrot. They say that this is the best flavor. We're gonna try it out. We're trying round baby carrots, the Romeo. I thought those were super cute.
I've never had
Danvers, more rainbow, okay, and then these ones, purple sun carrots. We're super eager to try these as well. These carrots are supposed to be really vigorous, and they're actually from Holland, which I think is fun.
Hey, Holland Love.
Holland Love, yes, our bunnies. So all of these will be started outside. You do not start carrots inside because they're a root vegetable. Maybe you know that, maybe you don't. We all need to hear things many times. So that is how our carrots will go.
Wait, so you do start them inside or you don't?
You do not start them inside because it goes down. They do not like being disturbed at all. Okay, so grab me an herb box. Have you seen an herb box?
Yes, so that's an
okay, so herb box. Okay, we do lots and lots of herbs. Okay, we do lots and lots of herbs. All of our herbs last year
were just plants. We did by seed.
No, I did some by seed. I did buy plants last year because I was eager to get them going, but most every other time I only just do them by seed. A lot of them are directly sown and some are perennials. My lavender did great last year. My basil did great last year. Our lemon balm did so good. I will not be planting any more lemon balm as long as it comes back. It was the largest lemon balm I have ever grown. I bought just a really small plant and it was a massive bush. I've never had it do so well.
What did we even do with lemon balm?
Pineapple sage, oh, I saved a bunch of it. We also give a lot of our herbs to our chickens and ducks. Pineapple sage was the same way as the lemon balm. I've grown it a couple other times. At our old house, I would just put them in our, I would just put all of my herbs in my landscaping because we did not have a big yard at all. I grew herbs for many, many years just in our landscaping and in pots. Just really good. It's kind of just subtly sweet, subtly pineapple. It tastes really good in tea, or as a tea.
We don't have any pineapple sage.
Because our plant did so good. So I won't plant any, yeah, those are all perennials in this area. I will not replant any of those as long as they can't come back well. So let me grab, can I see that one? Thank you.
I've never done that.
Oh, sweet marjoram is one of my favorites. It smells amazing. I couldn't find it last year in plant form. There is a big, is that a bald eagle?
What?
That might have been a bald eagle. We've seen a few bald eagles on our property this year. It was far enough away I couldn't quite tell, but that was beautiful. It had large wings. Okay, thank you. So sweet marjoram, I love growing this in like my pots, just for flowers, even if I never use it. But every time I go past it, I pick some of them. It smells amazing. So I will be growing a lot of sweet marjoram. Oh, and I know what I was saying. I could not find it anywhere last year. So I was sure to grab this one this year. Lots of oregano for us, oregano for drying. I will put oregano in my pots this year. I will start this inside, and I think I will start sweet marjoram inside. Let me see here. Yep. I thought a lot of the herbs were supposed to be started outside, but these two are saying inside. I have not read through all of these yet. We don't need to go through all of them right now. But where I will put my herbs this year in my potager garden, down here. I will put them in our raised bed garden, my kitchen garden. I will put them in all of my pots that you'll see all around our patio area, and I will also plant herbs next to a lot of my vegetables. I find that they do really well together, and some of these herbs are going to keep insects away, which is hugely beneficial. I won't go into any of that right now. Sage. Actually, okay, so see, I need to read through these. Sage, thyme.
We've never done fennel.
Fennel, we're doing fennel this year. I really like fennel. Tons of cilantro. Okay, we don't need to go through all of them right now. So these though will only start 1 to 2 weeks before we plant them out. So I will start those probably the very end of April inside. Yep, I don't need them right now though. That's good. It's so great having all my little garden helpers. Nasturtium. What? No, yes. Yeah. No, we're not done. My husband started talking to me through the window. Okay, I have never grown nasturtium by seed before, but I'm excited to try this because they have edible flowers.
They're like orange.
Yes, so I'm super excited. This says, let's see here.
We've never done those seeds before.
I've done burpee seeds before. I've done burpee tomatoes before, different things. So yeah, I'm really excited to try those and put those in our salads this year. That'll be fun. Okay, let's go ahead and
mark them.
We'll mark them up, yeah. Just as a little side note, you know, I have read lots of threads about gardening with kids or why it's hard to garden with kids. Here's what I have found. Not all my kids love gardening by any stretch of the mark. I do encourage them to always pick something to try, something that they like to eat, even my boys. My oldest two, you know, they're working. They don't have time to garden, but they have an appreciation for it, maybe later in their life. So it's not something that I force. But this is one way that you can draw your kids in with you. You know, my girls did all the taping, almost all of it for me. They're gonna write on the boxes because they want to. Willow has her area that she's gonna be working on all on her own next year. Posey, she has already picked out her things that she wants to plant, and then that she will also then be in charge of. And I will help them, I will direct them, I'll do all those things. But I have found that one of the best ways to encourage your kids to do things with you, anything, but in this particular case gardening, is just bring them in and let them have an area that they can do. Let them plant, let them weed. I know weeding is the least fun part. And then also let them harvest, keep their harvest, or sell their harvest, or eat their harvest, whatever it might be that they're growing. And I think that that's just a really great way to draw them in when they feel like they have some stock in it, when they feel like they're just in doing it with you. I mean, I remember my mom gardening. My mom, growing up, she does herbs and vegetables now, some, but growing up, she had the most gorgeous perennial gardens. And she would never force us to do it, but I always enjoyed watching her. And I would always love, look at you. I would always love sitting by the gardens. I loved watching her even weed. Sometimes I would help her, sometimes I wouldn't. I made all these mental notes that sometimes I didn't even know I was making, and all these connections that now, like I'm calling, if I don't know what to do, I'm calling my mom. Mom, what about this? What about this? And it's because she just included us, even if all we were doing was watching her. And even now, she gives me plant starts at different times and whatnot. It's just a great way to do it. And I think it's 100% possible and enjoyable to do it with your kids. So just wanted to make that as a little side note.
And all of the flowers that I'm doing will be for the bouquets.
Yeah, so all the flowers that Willow's doing this year. She is making her own cut garden. I'm not sure. She's behind the camera right now, obviously, so I don't know if you can hear all that she said. But she's doing a cut garden for her bouquets this year. She started selling bouquets just for fun last year, and it went over really, really well, and she loved it. So she's gonna try to make her own area, and that will be her thing. She will be doing it. She has purchased a lot of her own seeds from her bouquet money, and so I'll help her get things going. I'll make sure that if she has questions, I'm able to answer them.
C-A-B-B-A.
Willow is working on our Sweet Alyssum box.
Yeah, Sweet William.
And Sweet William. We put them in the same box because they're similar. Yes, watermelon. Because they're similar and because their planting is gonna be, or when we start propagating it, so to speak. Yes, you can do onion next. So you're gonna do, ready? Onion. O-N-I-O-N. Take it out. And I actually have my onion and peppers together because I'm not doing quite as many pepper plants this year. Peppers, I need to figure out a little bit more. My peppers were not great last year. I put them kind of in a weird spot. That could partly be why. Anyway, randomness. Okay, so she's writing those down. So I just wanted to show you how, I know this is super simple. It's very basic the very basic figuring of how to know when to plant, but we're literally just taking them box by box. So grab Sweet Alyssum. I have our last frost date I said was, I think I said May 3, it's actually May 4, and I cannot remember. Yep, I am a paper calendar person. I will continue to stay that way. Okay, so Mother's Day, just one second, sweets. Mother's Day is May 8 this year. So May 9 is when I intend to put everything in. So I'm giving it an extra couple
days. Wait, is that like?
That would be not quite a week, an extra 4 or 5 days, just to ensure that we're good to go. And that advice, I have done it earlier with some things before, and we've been fine. And I've done it earlier with some things before that I'm like, ooh, what's gonna happen? So what you're going to do, so tell me, what does the back of your package say for sewing inside? I hear little voices.
You start inside 4 to 6 weeks before your average last frost date.
4 to 6 weeks? Mm-hmm. Okay, so our average last frost date, like I said, was May 4. So I'm actually just gonna go off of the 9th, like I said. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So April 11 is going to be when we're starting these inside. You could even do, well, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what, let's do April 4. So do 4. Oh yeah, you can just do, okay. So April 4. That's the goal. Of course, I'm gonna give myself a little leeway room, but April 4 is when we know.
Sweet William and
yes.
Sweet Alyssum.
So that's really all you're doing when you're going to figure. It's just super basic math. And your calendar, that's what you need. Some people are a lot more on, you keep your calendars, fine, go figure it out on your phone, no problem. And you can even just put it all into your phone and when you know. And generally speaking, things are gonna be started anywhere between 1 and 8 weeks.
Wait.
So I wanted to give you this view so you can see what it's like as my girls are getting ready to start writing on them, right? So it's just washi tape, no big deal. Yep, we have the 2 sides, just like I said, for the name. One, it needs to be sewn and where, and then yeah, we will just go from there. And I don't know. We thought about also making a sheet of paper that helped us discern really quickly when to do it, or to see really quickly when to do it. We might add that in there, we might not. This is like I said, this is a learning experience. So for Cosmos, let's do just one more. For Cosmos, this actually says that it is recommended to sew outside. Our Cosmos, we sewed? Did we say sewed? Sewn? Whatever. We planted outside last year and it did fantastic. We actually had Cosmos in just a wildflower area and it did really, really great. So we will do that again. So on this box, you're gonna put, we will plant this, you're gonna put so Cosmos, and then you're gonna put it outside.
Is this just gonna be Cosmos?
Mm-hmm. Or,
I'm gonna need a black marker.
Yeah, grab a black.
Can I use that black one?
Yeah, just 1 minute. So we're going to plant this outside 1 to 2 weeks after our last frost date. So again, we're gonna go off of May 9, so we're gonna put May 23. We can watch our temperatures as it's being forecasted.
Wait, so May what?
May 23. I'm just going off on Mondays. Honestly, I usually do a lot on Mondays. Mondays and Wednesdays, I do a lot in the garden. Last year I did. I kind of tend to stick with that. It just works. I'm outside every single day in the garden, but
23.
yeah, May 23. Yeah. So there, that is how we're gonna keep going through all of this. We're gonna keep organizing it and get everything labeled. And then we'll be ready to go. And I will also probably put some, for me, for my sake, not so much for their sake, but for my sake, I'm gonna go ahead and do some markings on my calendar too, just so I can keep track of it. But for us, it works. This to me was the simplest way to organize my seeds and to get ready, since like I said, we will be expanding so much this year, and we will be starting a lot more inside to give us a head start, Lord willing, if all works okay. That this was the simplest way that I could come up with after watching other people do other things. I thought, hey, yeah, this feels doable. Very good, you wrote it. That says P.
The Sharpie case.
Anyway, okay, thanks for joining us. I hope that you all get to organizing your seeds, have fun, be creative doing it. Here's the other thing, if something's not beautiful, if I could not find a beautiful way to put my seeds into something simple, always has to be simple, but beautiful, like it's just not as fun to come to. Whereas I knew if we took like literally a few extra minutes and my girls joined me, we put the washi tape on there, we made it beautiful so we want to come and look at it. Like I love looking at all of this right now. It's gonna be fun to want to come back to as we get closer and closer to the time that we're gonna start sewing inside. And that to me kind of makes a big deal, or it makes a big difference. It is a big deal. The smallest things are sometimes the biggest things. And I do want to come back to it, to look at it, to go over it. So we're excited to start planting. So I just encourage you to do that. If you know your personality best, obviously, but if beauty kind of inspires you and helps you to want to do something, whatever you decide to do when it comes to your seed organization, make it beautiful. So you want to come look at it. So you want to figure it out, spend a little bit of time to do the figuring, and then you'll be ready to go. And you know, winter is the best time to do it because we can't be out right now doing any of this anyway, not here. And it's too early to start if you have the greenhouse area. So do the figuring, you know, make this learning process of organizing your seeds and figuring out when you're doing your calendar, make it like your garden. You're learning right now. This is the perfect time to do just that. Learn how to do it well. So, and I challenge you to grow something this year, at least one thing that you've never grown before. Whether it's in a tiny pot, it doesn't matter. My gardens, until really the opportunity that we have here now, my gardens have always been very small. Primarily pots. I've worked with Jason's mom on her property before in her gardens, and we would share the responsibilities and the produce. That was an incredible learning experience for me. But really, it was my pots and all of my herbs and the tomatoes that I would put in our landscaping. And that's really it. So this is a major year for us as well to expand. We have a lot to learn, and that's exciting. So plant something this year that you've never planted before. I'm joining you right in that, and it's gonna be fun. So, all right, thanks for joining us. Have a good weekend. Okay. I am coming back just a little bit later. Willow is labeling, doing all the labeling. She goes, hey, what are we doing with zinnias this year? And I'm like, that's a really good question, because zinnias, you can technically start inside. But I wanted to encourage all of you that don't want to start as little as possible inside because you don't have room, you don't have the desire, whatever it might be. Zinnias are a great one to just sow directly outdoors. Last year we did Eden Brothers zinnias. Lily put Lily put zinnias. Lily put rose zinnias. I have more of these for this year. This is a smaller one. They were beautiful last year. That's lovely, having your booty right there. Come on, sit. Just relax, yes. Anyway, so we are doing these again. We are gonna direct sow them again. They did not take long to come up. Go on, go on. They did not take long at all to come up. They lasted all year. They are perfect for just beauty. They are perfect for cut gardens. They're perfect for bouquets. They're perfect for just giving away. And I was super impressed with Eden Brothers last year. So we're doing those direct sow, not starting them inside at all. They love hot weather. I think that's why they did so great last year. I only have 2 other new kinds that I'm trying this year so far. I want to grab one more, I think. We're doing the Cinderella Peach, which are so pretty because they have a puffy center that's usually orange and yellow. You probably cannot even see that right there. And my camera, if I move it closer to you, does not just automatically focus, sadly. And then it has a pale pink petal. And then Queenie Lime Red ones, we're gonna try those. And I think we were gonna look for one more neutral color zinnia as well, just for her, for Willow's cut bouquets. So I thought that was a good addition to add to this for the zinnias. If you're looking for one that you do not have to start inside, now this definitely plant zinnias and they will look beautiful in your garden all year round. I'll talk more about this when we get to planting season, but even the zinnias, it talks about how far to space their seeds apart. Okay, so I really like gardening where they're not all perfect. It's not all these perfectly placed seeds and whatnot. So we did not pay much attention to the seed spacing. We just sprinkled them in, and both Willow and I were super happy with those. So, okay, just wanted to add that about your zinnias.